Oh my word, look at that. That is just so bright and gold. Welcome to Dan's on the Street. I'm Dan. I'm exploring the whole world, city by city, as seen through Google Maps and Google Street View. And today I'm back in Russia, visiting the amazing city of Saint Petersburg here, on the Baltic Sea, in the Gulf of Finland. I'm excited to check this out. Very important, very historic city. Pretty far north here. Look at that ice in the harbor there. How about that? I'm going to really enjoy exploring this, learning a thing or two. And let's get on the street here, start seeing what we find. How about somewhere in here? Okay, we are on the ground. Nice bright day out, beautiful architecture all around immediately greeting us here. Very impressive. Wow. All right, let's move down the street here. This is a large city. About 5.3 million people live here. And that makes it the second largest city in Russia, second only to Moscow. Looks like they have a bike sharing program here. That's fun. Great way to explore a city, or a practical way of getting around, possibly. Looks like they're kind of rehabbing this old building here, maybe, putting in new windows. That's great. Interesting old stonework there. Lots of wonderful architecture here. I was reading a bit about it. Lots of stuff from the kind of Baroque style. This light, look how amazing this looks down the street even, just right here. That's awesome. Let's follow this bus here a little bit, see where they're headed. Beautiful street here. Goodness. Wonderful shopping here. Looks pretty high-end stuff in there, clothing, high fashion, that kind of thing. This bus is in the way now. Yeah, shopping all around here. Not too many people out. Must be early morning is my guess here. A few people out wandering around. Looks like this street here is kind of closed to vehicular traffic. Nice archway in there. My, what a bunch of just great history in here. Interesting. So this served as the capital of the Russian Tsardom for a long time, from about 1713 all the way up until 1918 when it was overthrown. And you really see the evidence of it just in the amount of money and, wealth and power that was here. You just see it in the architecture and the layout and everything. It's extremely impressive. Goodness. Just every building you look at's like a stunner here. Look at all the design elements on this. Almost too much on that one, I think. But it's great. It's very impressive. A bunch more people out here. Looks like maybe we showed up a little later in the day for these shots in here. A bunch of tourists out and about, maybe. There's some sort of reenactor there, it looks like. Maybe a museum here, or a theater? Not quite sure. Very nice. The history of this, people living in this region go back a good number of hundreds of years. Definitely there's recording of Finnic tribes being here. There was a Swedish colony here. They built a fortress called Nyenskins, something like that. And a small town of Nyen was formed here. It's basically a small town and a fort. Oh my goodness, look at this in here. This is thoroughly impressive. Wow, look at these pillars, the fountain. Bunch of people taking pictures of it, as you'd expect. And this is amazing here. Look at the top of this glassed in. Looks like there's Atlas at the top there, maybe. Man, all these statues and... Wow. Looks like they're brass, maybe. has the look of aged brass to me. Not quite sure. Let's pop up and see what we're seeing here. Kazan Cathedral. Okay. Wow. Very impressive place. Interesting. There's just so much history here. So many cathedrals, basilica here. Let us get up to... I feel like I want to start up here at this fortress. So, when the... way back in the 17th century, the Tsar, Peter the Great, he was interested in getting a base, a port, really, that was connecting to more of Europe, to the waterways of Europe. And this was one opportunity they had, was to come here. Look at this here. My. Pristine. So basically they attacked and captured this fortress. There's a very small fortress here. And they replaced it with this fortress that we're looking at right here. The Peter and Paul Fortress. This is the Peter and Paul Cathedral here. Built back in 1712 to 33. Painted gold up top there. That's very impressive. Kind of understated down here too. It's not, not too much. I like it. Great look to all of that. This is so neat. Let's pop up again. It's really neat. This whole kind of star-shaped fortress here, sort of on an island, I guess. Let's drop down over here maybe. Walk around a little bit. Obviously this would be a place I'd have to visit if and when I get to town. Here again, another side of that church building. That was built basically the same time frame as this whole fort. How about that? This is so pretty in here, right? These trees, cobblestone paths, and the fan pattern here. Gotta love fall. It's so pretty. It's always too short. Here we're kind of toward the outside of things. I wonder if these are more like the barracks back in the day, around the edge of things. The city's not really 3D mapped in the sense that I can orbit around and see these things. But I think there's some fortress walls here. Okay, looks like there's a sandcastle competition here. But beyond that, if you can look behind it, there's the old fortress walls, and there's actually that cathedral, the steeple again. Pretty cool here. Amazing sandcastles they're making for something. That's awesome. Alright, all kinds of fun you can have here. Great destination point. And real quick, I want to see the inside of this cathedral. A lot of nobles, I read, are buried here. Probably most famously, oh my word, look at that. That is just so bright and gold. The entire inside here, this is basically just a tomb in here. I don't know if church really worships here anymore, but I read that Tsar Nicholas II and his family are buried here. Possibly right here, one of these tombs. I'm not quite sure. My. So here's where I read their bodies were moved here later. I think in the 90s, early 90s maybe. Interesting. This is pretty wild. Yeah, it's obviously all the pews are gone. I don't think a church really worships here anymore. It's basically just a tourist destination and mausoleum. That is definitely an unusual sight here in a church. Even a palm tree. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure which one of these might be Tsar Nicholas, and we'll talk more about them maybe a little bit later, as their history definitely plays into this place. They would have lived here back in the day. They would have lived basically, I think right here. This is the Winter Palace. Might as well check this out while we're here too. Actually, well, let's get on the bridge maybe. We'll look across, get a little sense of this town. I don't know too much about it. This is all based on the brief amount of research I did. All right, so there's the fort over there, the church, big wide river here, and then this is the Winter Palace. This is where the Tsar family lived, going way back into around whatever 1713 or something, maybe a little bit later than that. I think actually a good bit later than that, maybe 1800s, but definitely old and very impressive building here. I think like the front half was the property they lived, and then the back half is actually, it's called the Hermitage. I'm not sure if that's more of a recent thing, but that was where the place for storing and displaying artwork. And it's still an amazing, apparently, art museum here. One of the largest art museums in the world is just like on the other side of this building. Again, very empty streets out here today. But I'm sure it's just the time of day. I think we've all gotten used to seeing empty streets during these coronavirus days. As I'm recording this, we are in the height of all of that. I was out this morning to grab some groceries. Nobody out. It was very bizarre sight. Nobody on the street. Anyways, but this is a more welcome sight here. People around. Beautiful plaza back here. My heavens. Wow. Quite the column here. Pillar. Wow. Number of revolutions in Russia, I think, started almost right here in this plaza. Interesting. Should we get inside? I think we should. Let's at least pop into this interior here. Oh goodness, look at all these people. This is amazing though. This would have all been, I assume, kind of private courtyard for the royal family. Ton of people out. Tourists coming in for the tour, I can only assume. Isn't it almost weird seeing a group of people like that right now? It is to me. Yeah. Look at that, temporarily closed. Yeah, temporarily closed because of course, this crazy virus. Anyways, that's probably enough of that. Anyways, there, as you can see, it's the Winter Palace. On the back side here is the Hermitage Museum. It's possible it's kind of all the Hermitage Museum now. I'm not quite sure about that. Very impressive though. Really impressive waterways in here. This is an amazing city, and probably about as much as any place I've ever visited on this virtual tour I've done. Almost 150 cities, I think, at this point. I really get the sense that I'm not going to see much of it, and I am sorry about that. A bunch of people out here today. Beautiful in this nice big park. Somebody on a scooter, a bunch of families out. This is great. Looks like we're looking at June. Feels like June. Yeah, that's nice. I'll just cruise down this street a little bit. Some nice vehicles I've noticed. Yeah, BMWs. Definitely mixed too. But yeah, clearly still good money here. Without a doubt. I mean, it should be obvious, but just definitely get the sense that this is a really world-class city. This looks like a military vehicle there. Interesting. Kind of wander over here. There's all sorts of waterways through here. You start getting more of a sense of that, I think, from above. If you look closely, it's just filled with water passages. I've heard it's sometimes called the Venice of the North. Lots and lots of waterways, canals. Bunch of canal boats. I'm sure you could go on some great canal tours all around here. Just go down a few random streets while we're lost amongst this city. Who knows what this is? Another amazing place, though. Perhaps an embassy. No, I don't know. Interesting. Let's pop up. I am getting quite lost here. Okay. Let's always come back to this star fortress as our guiding star here. Let's move a little bit north of that and just kind of up past this park. Again, there's so many cultural sites here that to say we're going to miss so much of it is such an understatement. Look at this military museum here. I gotta stop in here because this is pretty awesome. I can tell. Oh man, look at this. Bunch of old Soviet tanks, anti-aircraft guns or something. I don't know. I don't really know my military stuff. This is awesome though. Look at that. Barrel size on that. Wow. This is the real deal. Pretty wild to see this, right? I would certainly go for a walk through here if you're allowed to. Man, that is awesome. And the building itself, thoroughly impressive. Top of the line brickwork there, especially considering it's the time frame that was built. Probably this is probably a military barracks here. I said that some of these were here, maybe that has a look maybe back in the day. You can see that the fortress kind of expanded out here maybe, or continued. You see some of that star pattern repeated. What now looks to us just like, oh, that's a fun shape. Of course, that would have been a military tactic back in the day. That was actually there to defend themselves against any attack from the north there, I guess. But nowadays we can just wander around and have a picnic on it or something. Well, maybe not these days, but on a normal day. Interesting. One of these like human statue things, I think. Paused. Clock there. Who knows? All kinds of great, again, just amazing cultural sites. I'm massively impressed. It's funny, maybe not funny, but it's embarrassing, I swear. I couldn't quite place this city on a map in my mind, or like I kind of had where I thought it was, and yet I was still surprised to see it here. I like to think I have a pretty good overall sense of the globe, but I still have some significant blind spots, that's for sure. I was really surprised to see where this is. Definitely feels very, I don't know, Northern European, which it is. And how lovely is it all? Definitely my kind of place. While I have your attention, if you're enjoying this, please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up, that kind of thing. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you'd like me to check out in a future video, maybe. This is awesome. This building needs a little revitalization, but hey, look at that. Ask and you shall receive. That's amazing. How does that work? They went ahead and started working on it. That's amazing. Yeah, I love seeing that. Clearly a lot of love in this city. A lot of money and effort being put into this. Wow. And if you, if you'd really like to support me, I would love your support on Patreon. I have a Patreon page. It's linked below. It's $1 a month, and you can watch a bunch of bonus tours I got up there. Just posted one yesterday. And participate in the conversation over there, and get to, really catch my ear if you want to me to check out someplace. This video here, this tour of Saint Petersburg, was recommended by a Patreon member. So if you'd like to really get my attention, it's $1. The truth is too, if you just ask a few times, I'll probably go there. But consider supporting me. let's pop up here. All right, just zooming around a little bit north here. I mean, we're barely north. We're just north of that. There's so much of this place we just simply are not going to see today. Let us come over here. Interesting. Looks like a train station here, maybe. Shopping mall. I feel like I gotta see this intersection here. This looks wild from above. Leningrad Hero City Obelisk. Okay, yeah, it's a hero city. I read about that a little bit. I gotta get back to its history. Huh. Wait, is this the monument? That's it. Alright, I'll be honest. I expected a little something more grand than that, but fair enough. Looks like it's 5-sided, maybe? Maybe 4-sided. It's an obelisk. Okay. Back to its history. So, yeah, the canals were dug and expanded in the years as the city grew in the 1700s. Whoa, look at this traffic now. Busy place again. 5.3 million people here. That's no joke. Major city life through here. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, a bunch of the buildings were built in that time frame, the late 1700s, 1800s, and the first bridge that at least still exists today was built in 1850. The Blagovensky Bridge, something like that. Blagoveshensky Bridge, sorry. It used to be called the Annunciation Bridge. It's taken in these shops and storefronts. All kinds of... I'm really impressed by the amount of, again, sort of cultural sites. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. At least that some of these older parts of town are part of that title, which is a pretty special title, rarely given. Relatively rarely. Huh. The Industrial Revolution in the mid-1800s brought a lot of the peasants living outside the city into the city, and the city just boomed and expanded, and a lot of effort was made to accommodate all these newcomers. Wow. A lot of them being pretty poor when they arrived, and caused, I think, all kinds of issues with the city. But they sorted it out in time, is probably a very short way of putting it. Look at this building here. It's being, looks like it's being cleaned. Perhaps this is what it's supposed to look like there. I was hoping we get treated to the final effect. Let's see, 2014. Jump back in time. It looks like they started working on that and just never... Oh, there you go. See, it all looked like that. At some point, they decided they wanted to clean up a bit of it, but didn't have the money for all of it, I guess. It's a pity because it should be as pretty as that end piece is. This is ridiculously gorgeous through here, this whole street. My neck would hurt walking around this city, just looking up everywhere. It's not even really tall buildings here, right? It's all kind of 5-6 story, 7th story, but that's enough that I would just be looking up the whole time at all these sites. What an impressive place. I'm really enjoying seeing all of this. Interesting. So in 1905 then, the Russian Revolution began in this city. Not to be confused with the 1917 revolution. What just happened here? Just launched back into shopping mall there. Not sure about that. Let's pop up here. Let's go over another bridge here. Oh, here's that bridge. Blagoveshensky Bridge. I don't know. I shouldn't struggle with that. It seems relatively easy to say. recently rebuilt, actually, I read. Beautiful work horse pattern in there. Just cruise over this. Nice wide bridge. Look at this cruise ship. Speaking of cruise, that is a kind of odd sight. Pretty neat. No way that ship's getting past here, right? Unless this bridge, maybe this bridge raises. Oh, look at that. Maybe this bridge actually raises up. It's possible. No, I don't think well, looks like there's a station there. I don't know. Pretty weird to see a ship like that sitting so close to a bridge like this. Much lower, but it's possible it lifts up. There's people giving us a nice wave there. Wow, look at that over there. So the 1905 Russian Revolution began in the city, and it led to a new multi-party system, a new constitution, and it really set the stage, from what I read, for the 1917 revolution. It's all about kind of the poor worker kind of rising up, demanding more rights. And then the October Revolution, led by Lenin, came to the city here. And on November 7th, 1917, the Bolsheviks stormed the Winter Palace that we were looking at there. They stormed that. And let's pop up here. We're right by something interesting. Forgive me. Oh yeah, I want to get down to this part in here. But they stormed that place, and basically all political power went to the Soviets and the Communist Party. And the city was renamed Leningrad then. It had been Petrograd, but it was, renamed Leningrad shortly after Lenin's death in 1924. So this place was really at the center, one of the centers of that revolution. On our left here, this is neat. This is called 12 Collegia, something like that, completed in 1744. This used to be the Senate chambers. It was like 12 buildings all connected, and now it's part of the Saint Petersburg State University. But you can see it from above here. This is really neat. It looked like we could actually get inside here, maybe. Or maybe right in front. Actually inside. Fantastic. Are these the old professors, maybe? Or the presidents of the university? Somebody of importance. Look at all these figures here. Oh, I'd love to go down this hallway. Look at that. Great location for like a movie set. I'm sure some scene in a movie has been shot along here. That is pretty awesome. Great old bookcases here. Oh, fantastic. And again, I think this is all part of the university now, so this is what a great location for classes and that kind of thing. Old professors maybe, or politicians, I don't know. Wonderful. Kabash, I don't know, I can't quite say that, of course. 1901, okay. This is amazing though. What a place. What a building. I assume this is all part of the university here then, yeah. Literary Museum of the Institute. Fantastic. Wonder if we can go on this point here. Let's see. Looks like it. Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah. Drone shot out here. Wonderful. This is what I love, at least one drone shot in a city. Really get the overhead view. As if we didn't already have one a bit. This looks like a lighthouse there. It's weird. Interesting. Quite the place. Quite the impressive place. Look how gold that thing is. Great boats here, great canal boats. All down through here. Maybe these bridges do lift, I don't know. Couldn't say. Looks like they're keeping the boats pretty low here though. Yeah, I'm not sure. Can I actually move around up here? I guess I guess I can a little bit. Alright. Another daytime view. Beautiful, beautiful place. Let's see. Maybe one or two more places. I know, again, this one's going to be painful. I'm not going to get to too much of it, and you're just going to have to accept that. And if you're enjoying this, stop over on Google Maps, check it out yourself a little bit. There's a lot to see here. And yeah, it's going to be painful to leave here. It's a kind of newer part of town over here. Yeah, not as historic. I like seeing this too, though. I like getting more of a full picture of everything. If you feel like you've heard of Leningrad, but you can't quite remember what detail you know about it, you might remember its very unfortunate moment in history. It was back during World War II. German forces besieged the city, and they besieged it in June of 1941, and then they held siege, blocked off all travel in and out, all trains, etc., for 872 days. So yeah, if you think this quarantine is bad here, 15, 30, a month or two, imagine 872 days of not being able to leave your city. And on top of that, no food was coming in, really. So things got really dark really fast. And a lot of people died. Like over 1 million civilians died right here. Mainly of starvation. And it really could be considered a genocide almost. Was what I was reading. It was just so extreme, and the people that suffered were, essentially innocent. They're just people living their lives here, families, kids, and yeah, painful history. The city was remembered, I think it was back in 1960, the city was honored by the USSR with that Hero City monument, which again, seems like, that's why it kind of bothered me how unimpressive that was. Let's get in here. I know we were over here already, but I just want to hop around here just a little bit more. Yeah, end on something a little happier. Seems like things moved on though, right? Life went on. Things got better. Took a while. Took a long while. But sure looks like a pretty happy place here today. To my eyes, at least. What a history. Complex. Yeah. Look at all these buses. Man. Must be a lot of tourists coming in here. Beautiful light all around here. Statues, again, just the amount of history here. Love to spend a lot more time learning more about this place. This has been a real treasure time. I learned a lot. Giving a wave here to this kid. I really enjoyed this, yeah. Nice tram coming here along the bridge here with the electric wire on top. Kind of an older style to my eyes. Neat though, I like the look of that. Really, really cool city. Great place. I'd love to visit here someday. Definitely, it's going on my list of places I would love to get to. For now, though, I'm going to add it to my on my list here. Let's see, saved. Been there, seen that. If I missed some of your favorite places here in St. Petersburg, do let me know in the comments. I'll try to come back. St. Petersburg, Russia. There it is. Let's check it back. Make sure it got on there. Ooh, bouncing all around here. Yeah, it's just so far up here. I don't know why. Somehow I was thinking it was lower. I don't know. That wouldn't make any sense. But yep, way up here. Above Estonia, right by Finland. Interesting. Impressive place. And really enjoyed that tour. Thank you so much for the suggestion. Consider supporting me on Patreon. I'd appreciate it. Till next time.